All right. So Peter Boghossian's a troll. Orson Scott Card. So both of them so fucking talented, but you just gotta whatever. All right. So let's talk about the Dave Moscato, who is PR director for American Atheist, came out this week as a transgender woman, which I don't know whether this is uncouth to say, but that was like really surprising to me.
It was to me too. But I mean, we don't know her personally, so
Right. Right. I've never met her. She's now Danielle Moscato.
I didn't know her as a man, and I don't really know anything about her as a woman now.
Really, so. I really like Danielle Moscato. I've always really liked her. But and I guess this is just my cisgender privilege showing. I'm just like, that is not something that I would have guessed.
What is she responsible for in totality?
PR direct. She's the PR director for American Atheists.
Oh, okay.
The thing that I do want to say, and I hope I'm not being offensive by saying those things, that I guess I'm not responsible for her identity. So, my expectations are irrelevant to that. What I did want to say is that I have been very, very sad about the atheist community lately, because I feel like I was on a thread in the Atheist Experience nonprofits page where I eventually just said, that dealing with the atheist community lately has felt to me like swimming through a cesspool of stupid, and it just makes me feel dirty and awful. And while I usually love the atheist community, what's been going on lately has really made me not love it, and I don't like that. When Danielle made her announcement that she was transgender, and it's really interesting how she's transitioning, because she's not, all ta-da, here I am.
Yeah, she's not making the attempt to present herself
as a woman.
Yeah.
Right.
She still has the hyper masculine kind of. I think I've only seen like one picture of her.
She said she's going to start her transition.
She's going to go tea. I don't know that that's going away or not. She said that she was going to keep dressing.
Well, you could still present present yourself in a masculine way and still consider yourself female. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of anyway. I have not read nor heard nor seen any negativity whatsoever. And that's a big deal to me. It kind of made me proud to be an atheist again. I'm always proud to be an atheist. It kind of made me proud of our community again. That someone could say something like that. And like I said, and again, I'll apologize if that was, if registering my surprise is offensive, I apologize. But it was not exactly, because I'll be honest with you, my first reaction was not, oh, okay. It was, really?
Yeah, sort of that.
Is this a real thing, or is this like someone's trying to make a point?
Oh, yeah. For me, I saw it and it kind of just registered me the same way if like someone came out as gay. Yeah, it was just like,
okay,
whatever.
Yeah. So, but I don't know the kinds of things that Danielle has gotten over the past few days. She's posted a few things. And it seems like it's almost 100% positive. I have not seen any negativity, and that just makes me so happy and so pleased to be a part of this community, because there's probably not a lot of communities where that could happen and there would be no or
it would be nice if we got to a point where someone came out as transgender or gay or whatever and everyone's like, nobody give a shit. It was like, so cool.
Jeff Crime in the chat room says that his girlfriend hates...
It's the wine type. It's not...
What? I did not read it.
He's making it... It's a double entendre.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. I was going to say, what's that about? Oh, it's a joke.
Yeah. No, I think that would be nice if we get a day when just nobody gave a shit anymore,
Yeah.
Like it would be nice when we got to a day when it wasn't like, oh, the first female this or whatever. It would be nice if we got to today where that wasn't a surprise anymore.
Right.
That didn't really matter anymore.
Yeah. Well,
That would
and
be nice.
I think that by celebrating things like this, and I really do feel like it's been kind of a celebration. Like, we're so happy that you were able, that not only were you able, but you were comfortable enough. I mean, as you know, a figurehead of American Atheists, which is probably the premier atheist organization out there. I can't think of a bigger one ever, anywhere. To be comfortable and able to do that and to be received with nothing but right on. And it was something that I needed to have happen. So thank you for timing it correctly, Danielle. Because I have been really not happy with our community lately.
I actually just did a search on Reddit for any. There is one posting of this article, of this Friendly Atheist article, and there's no comments on it.
There's no comments at all on it?
At all. There was one posting in
what subreddit?
Transgender report.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go. Well,
But at the same time, I mean, this is a post from,
because that's a community that would go
yesterday.
like, so
Yeah.
what?
Well, you would just kind of figure that
But
this is something that as soon as it was posted,
assholes would not be hanging out in our transgender
Yeah,
report.
good point.
If anything, you would think that they would like, because atheists is looked down upon. It's like, oh no, they're going to muddy the waters of our transgender community with atheists. No, get them away.
Yeah,
You know?
it could be. But here's the other thing: is there was I saw someone posted online today. There's an article in the Christian Post about Danielle coming out, and like I clicked on it hesitantly, and I really was like looking through my fingers while I was reading it, but it was all just like, I mean, I was smiling by the end because it was all just, this is what she said, this is why she said she did it, and this
It was just fact
it was
reporting.
just fact reporting, and I was like,
Real news.
yeah, it's like,
Shit, dude.
that's awesome, that's and that's from the Christian community. So I mean, I feel a little better about the Christian community too. Not a whole lot better, but a little better.
I'm like actually doing searches to see if I can find anything that is like derogatory.
Because you just really
about
want to bring
her.
Christian down.
Yeah,
right?
you really.
Well, it's one of those like everything. Like, luckily, everything that I'm
No,
finding is like congratulations.
Who put that
like,
in? Who put that in the lineup?
Me.
Oh, Susan Turpin. You're welcome. I see you. I put a note in here. I was like, I love whoever put this here. I didn't see your.
You're welcome.
Because after I knew that we were going to talk about it tonight, I did the same thing. I tried to find someone saying, "Ew, gross,"
Yeah.
something, or anything. There's nothing. It's all positive. So I'm so happy for her, and that's awesome. So let's move on to the next topic, which is really interesting. This is something that Reb brought to the CCA November birthday parties this weekend.
The topic was that the question that was presented to me by a friend was if if it's if it's racist, for instance, to say like, oh, I'll never date black people or whatever, and it's sexist to say that you would never hire.
I don't know that it is racist to say that, but go ahead.
And if it's sexist to say I would never hire a woman or whatever, so would it also be sexist to say that I will never date a man? If you are a straight male,
heterosexual.
would it be sexist to say you would never date a man?
Or like Susan is fond of saying, she's not dating women, and because Heckert will say you just haven't found the right vagina.
Yeah.
But I think you debate that.
I've
No?
never tried vagina, so
So you haven't met any vaginas.
I mean, other than my own.
Because
Okay.
because basically what you're saying is that
Oh, that's the out. That's the out right there. Like I'm having sex with myself all the time. So like, totally not sexist. I just haven't found
much.
any dudes I'm into.
Right.
Other than
myself.
the one.
because the translation of what you're saying is like based solely on what is between your legs, based on your penis, your vagina. I want nothing to do with you in a romantic sense.
So this sounds like a bullshit proposition. So those of you who are sitting there, because that was like my reaction when you said that, I was like, Reb is drunk. but if you sit there and think about it and try to form a sound argument about why it's not sexist, it's hard.
I couldn't think of anything to go against it. The only thing I could think of was, well, it's not hurting anybody for me to not date them, so I'm not oppressing anybody.
And
Yeah, because sexual orientation and sexual preference are not oppressive.
But then at the same time, if you like could provide somebody a great life, and you'd be a wonderful partner, and you would be happy together with that person, aren't you denying them that good experience that you could have had with them based solely on what they had between their legs?
No, because part of being in a romantic relationship with somebody is sexual attraction.
Right, and
that's another reason why.
And
that's
it's
another reason why I
sexist.
went through a divorce, was because there was no sexual attraction.
And it's sexist for you to not have that sexual attraction because you're basing it solely on what's between that person's legs.
Here's the other thing:
I was born this way. Okay.
Well,
no one has ever dated or will ever date the perfect person who lines up in every column. So if that's the one column where you're saying,
I disagree
okay, go. Why?
with that.
Why? Get the hell out of here. You're just sucking up to your wife. I'm not having that bullshit in this conversation. Good job. You're gonna get laid tonight. But I'm just
He's like, yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, you're not gonna have someone who's just like, oh my God, perfect at everything. These people are human. And so, this is the one column where excluding bisexuals, and I think we should tip the hat to the bisexual crowd. I think this is what Leslie said over the weekend, was like, this is the one place where I have privilege. I am not at all.
She's like, I'm not discriminating.
Well, 'cause I was looking,
You guys are the sexist ones. I'm totally fine.
now, see, I've never watched Torchwood, but there's a character on there called Captain Jack Harkness, and he's omnisexual from the 51st century.
He will have sex with anything that moves.
Yeah, and the way he basis at it, like from the synopsis I read of that character, wasn't that he just wanted to have sex with everything. It was more he was interested in everybody and everything, no matter what their gender or whatever their sex, their race, their whatever. And it was interesting, and I do wonder if maybe one day, if our future is that maybe we do all kind of become omnisexual to a certain degree.
It could be. I mean, there was a study that came out this week that buttressed the idea that there is, and actually isolated in on several several genes as gay genes. So there is almost certainly, our current modern scientific understanding of homosexuality is that there is a genetic component. So there is probably not ever going to be a society where everyone has the same sexuality. That's probably not going to happen because we're not all going to have the same genetics. There's also a social component. So there's an environmental component as well. There seems to be, anyway, again, our best understanding. So I think that what is normal in terms of sexuality could be much broader, but I think there's always going to be a biological component that will limit it. Now, let me say, no person has a right to be in a relationship with me. So I am not denying anyone a right or anything else by saying I'm not going to be in a relationship with you because you're dumb, or because you're a man, or because you're.
Well, no one has the right to have your particular job either, right? Like if you're hiring people, no particular
Everyone
individual
has the right to have my job if they can get it.
If they're qualified.
They're qualified. Everyone has the right to get my job. No one has the right to, against my will, be in a relationship with me.
But you also have the right to be racist if you want.
Yes.
So
it doesn't make it right, and this is
doesn't make it right. And so the same thing. Does it make it right to have a personal preference for gender? It doesn't make it right to be a racist, and it's not right to be sexist. And if I think it's kind of shitty if you say, oh, I will never date a black person because they're black or whatever. I think that's racist and shitty.
I agree with that.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Why for?
I think it's just stupid to say I would never do something. Just like the way you said that you would never find your 100% match.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think anyone's 100% something. It's like I don't think I'm 100% straight either.
Sure.
I would never say that
It's
I'd
a
never,
spectrum.
yeah, never do something. So
Right, and that's what I mean. Yes, you may say, and while you may or may not ever do or not do something, there's still you would still I would view someone as racist if they did say I will never do that because
I would too.
Because I don't think it's racist. So so if you draw that logical conclusion, it's almost the same thing when you apply it to gender and sex.
Does the modern understanding of science include the fact that some people are genetically inclined to be racists? Is there a racist gene? If there is, then maybe that's not a big deal. If there's not, and I can't believe that there is. I have to believe that's learned behavior.
It is.
I've never heard that there's a racist
either.
gene. So although there's some evidence to suppose that there might be a gay gene. So maybe there could be something there.
I don't know. There are physical characteristics that I find very sexually appealing and physical characteristics that I find not appealing. And so there are certain kinds of white people that I find not appealing. There are certain kinds of black people, Asian people, whatever. In terms of race, for me, I would never say, no, I would never do. I would never do. I would never be in a relationship with this race of person for this reason. There are cultural things that I find unattractive. There are cultures that I do not mesh with or I'm not comfortable with. But I'm not closed off to all cultures, but I'm pretty closed off to men as a source of romantic interest. I mean, I'm very comfortable with.
For the only reason that they have a penis.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sexist, but we're okay with it.
Right, but because there's a genetic component, and they also don't have a right to be in a relationship with me, I don't think it falls into that category. But this, literally, if you sit there and think about it, and you're honest with yourself, it's hard to come to a sound,
satisfying,
answer with that. I'm very comfortable with my sexuality. I'm very comfortable with admitting when a man is attractive. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I've never even been curious about having sex with a dude. Ever. I just haven't.
What about just a nice makeout session?
Yeah, maybe that. I have kissed a man. I have kissed several men. That has happened, but it was not a
all at the same time. Or?
No. These are separate.
All on the same night,
orgy.
or
no? I mean, I think the first time I kissed a man was because I was kissing my girlfriend, and my friend was like, "Dude, what about me?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And so I'm not sure who was.
It was just a joke that went too far.
No, it was fine.
No, I got aroused. It was great.
See, he's not sexist. He got aroused.
But stuff like that. I mean, and like I said, I'm completely comfortable with my sexuality. It's not that I find gay sex ooky or oh my god, it's so gross. But it's just not something that I'm interested in.
I guess for me, it's like I've never been in the situation where I've ever had the opportunity to be with a man. So it's kind of like, I don't know, what would I do if I was over there?
I have.
Chances are I'd probably say no, I would think, unless the guy was like super duper hot or something. Who knows? But
I have been in that situation, and I was just not interested. I mean, I had, I used to hang out before I moved to Texas. I used to hang out in a lot of lesbian bars because they were much cooler than straight bars. And I used to hang out with a lot of gay people. And, I had one gay friend who, who would offer me sex or offer me a blowjob. And I'm just like, I'm not really interested.
Well, then
So
would.
I know myself.
But I probably wouldn't even accept one from a woman though either. If it was like at a bar, I'd be like,
not at a
I'm
bar.
okay.
This
Yeah.
wasn't at a bar.
Oh, I thought you
This
said it was at a lesbian.
No.
person.
I was saying I hung out with in a lot of those places and hung out with a lot of those people, and I, privately was offered things like this, and I'm just like, because he was one of those guys who said, what the difference between a gay guy and a straight guy is? A 6-pack. And I was like, no. And again, not because I think it's gross, but just because I'm not interested before I start drinking. When I start drinking, I don't get any more interested. I just don't. So, and that's true of certain women too. And oh my God, I was almost raped when I was in college, and by this woman, and I want to thank my friend Stacy because like she saw it happening and she intervened, and you're so good. Any last thoughts on that one? What were we going to say?
Yes.
Okay. Artie has the last thought.
Well, kind of. Okay, so when a guy says that he would never date a woman that is a mechanic because he doesn't find them sexy no matter what they look like.
That's kind of ignorant.
Is that the same as... Yes, I know. But is that the same as saying that women are not funny? Or can't be funny?
Yes.
Which
it's exactly
I don't
the same.
believe either. So
No. Yeah, both of those things are bullshit because I think that denies the spectrum of people. So, I mean, I don't think there's a gene for finding mechanics.
Or a gene for funny.
Right. Well, there might be a gene for funny. Maybe. I don't know.
Funny looking, but
Fuck, I was going to say that.
great minds think alike.
Stolen.
Goddamn stutter.
A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, another person in the chat room confessing to have kissed guys. And again, I have no problem. Like I said, I have no problem with gay people. I hang out with gay people. I'm just not a gay person. And I'm totally comfortable with my sexuality.
Shucks.
Yeah.
So you're
Reb
like...
is super disappointed.
So you're like 99% straight or 98, something like that?
Well, it depends. I mean, is sexuality derived solely from sex? I mean, is it only sex acts? Like I said, I'm perfectly capable of finding another man attractive and saying, that dude is really attractive,
It's like I'd like to build a life with him. I just don't want to have sex with him.
We could be besties forever and just like chop wood together.
What was that movie? Did you guys ever see Kissing Sarah Silverman or something like that?
Kissing
Jessica Stein. Yes.
Sarah Silverman
Silverman.
is the one in the CCA thing you posted.
Right. No, Kissing Jessica Stein, which I love that movie. If you haven't seen that movie, it's probably on Netflix. You should go see it. It's probably free. I love that movie, but I mean, it's really about a woman who's like not really gay, but having a gay relationship. And I mean, that would be what it would be like. It's like, I'm not really into this, but we could be bros.
I'll just jerk off in one room, you jerk off in the other. That's like sex first.
All right.
That
Gilman. Christian would bang the guy from the FFRF, Andrew Seidel. That actually came up at the party while we were discussing this.
You and your Andrew Seidel love.
Andrew Seidel, yeah. And I made an unfortunate joke, and I still feel bad about making when that happened. All right, so let's go back to let's finish up with the text thing. Because I don't know what that is. Someone explain that.
So, okay, these two people were dating for like 2 months, and instead of being mature and breaking up with the girl,
wait, I'm gonna totally I do this to you all the time.
You do this to me all of the fucking time.
I talked to you about this before the show. It was like when you start talking, it's like, oh, I get to catch up on the chat room, and that's what I just did. Gilman M in the chat room says the mechanic in Firefly was cute. Fucking A, right? Mechanics can be cute, man.
See, I have a girl crush on Suzanne Santo from Honey Honey.
I don't know who that is.
It's Honey Honey.
That one?
Nobody.
She's that one?
It's your damn wallpaper.
It's my wallpaper. I love her. But
what happened to the Galaxy Guardian guy? I thought he was your wallpaper guy.
Oh, he was for a little while. Him in his underwear. That
It's
was
like so yesterday, dude.
I know, right?
Okay, wait.
I mean, come on.
Same sex crush.
Fuck, I can't think of one. You.
The guy from Battlestar Galactica, Hilo.
Okay.
Edward
I get
James
that.
Olmos?
No, Hilo.
Oh, Edward James Olmos. Oh
I'm
my
trying to
god.
remember that guy's name. No, it's Hilo from Battlestar Galactica. God, what the fuck is his name? Yeah, the guy's amazing. I love the way he walks.
Awesome. Like, for me, I like it would be like really, really old, but
Oh, Tomoe Pennicott.
Yeah,
That one. You do have such a man crush on that guy.
you know it's weird. I don't even recognize his name. I know who he is. I don't recognize his name.
He was from Dollhouse as well.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
where
no.
I first saw him, and like, because he
You
does
saw
like,
him in Dollhouse first?
yeah. That's where
Are
I saw
you
him.
serious?
Yeah.
That's just where I happen to see him
That's
first.
where I saw him first too.
Well, because he does.
I also have not watched Battlestar all the way through. It's next on my list.
How did you not watch Battlestar before?
That's just how I ended up seeing it.
Okay. Mike Edwards, Jesus Jones. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway. Are you kidding? You like how as soon as I'm about to start talking, you look directly at the chat room.
I know, right? Go ahead.
So this couple was dating for
Oh,
like
the
2
chat room,
months.
wait.
I fucking hate you so much. Why? So this couple was dating for like 2 months, and the dude decided instead of actually being a mature adult, he was going to send the woman a text message.
Is there a time in any relationship where text is okay to break up with them?
Yes.
Okay. Go.
But mine was the exception because about a
when
year
it's-
ago.
when it's Susan, then it's okay.
No, because I was genuinely scared that this guy was gonna like.
Oh, freak out! Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, get violent and
the
stuff.
former Marine dude. I was genuinely scared of
Fucking
him.
Marines,
I
man.
know, right?
We don't let
do you
those
remember this
kinds.
dude? He showed up at the
Yeah, I remember him.
yeah. So he was just
He was just a douchebag.
crazy. Yeah, he was a dickbag. So I was just like, I'm gonna break up with you via text because I don't want to break up with you in person because I am scared of what you will do.
Jeff Grime in the chat room says that his main crush was Brendan May in The Crow. I could go with that. That dude was awesome. Okay. So let's read. So why don't you read the text to us?
Okay, so his reasons for breaking up with his now ex-girlfriend. 1, you refused to update your relationship status on Facebook.
Is that a big deal?
Can be for some people.
It's not for me. Like
To a certain extent.
I think.
Well,
I
Facebook
wonder what
wasn't
my-
even like a thing when you got married,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really.
I-
how
well,
would you
but-
know, really?
But I mean, but the option would be there when I'm like madly going.
well,
to
and
my
I guess if like
profile
if,
right
if
now.
your wife didn't like say that you're
My
married
wife
to her
doesn't
on
care.
Facebook.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm married on my Facebook page. Okay. Is anyone not
Oh, I'm single right now.
current?
So.
Is anyone not current on their Facebook page?
No, I hide my relationship status. Just 'cause.
Mine's private, just to friends. But
The last guy that I dated that I was actually in a relationship with did not have it listed on his
did that bother you?
profile. Only when I actually thought about it. It's not something that it's not something that I like dwelled on.
When I
but
wasn't
it's
thinking
when I
about it, it totally
actually-
didn't bother me, guys.
Exactly.
Okay, so
No,
it bothered
but
you.
when
When it
I-
was brought to your attention,
just
then
say
like,
it
oh.
Well, when
bothered you.
I sort of like noticed, but I didn't notice for a while because I didn't really think about it. It didn't really occur to me that, oh hey, this could
This could be an indicator of some sort.
This could be a thing. This should be something I should be worried about or whatever. I don't care. But I don't know. I think there's two ways you can look at it. You can either look at it from the perspective of it's just fucking Facebook.
Yeah, I've never been a big, huge Facebook person, so it really wouldn't bother me. Like, if someone wants me to change my status, I'll change it for them. If not, I don't give a shit. If
care.
they don't change theirs, I don't care. So I know what we have, so that's really enough for me, I suppose.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, I can sort of understand why if someone is unwilling to put that on their Facebook because they don't want to appear like they're in a relationship for shady reasons, then it's...
But to me, if you were that insecure about your relationship, it's not a good relationship.
No, yeah.
If that's a big deal for you,
If there's doubt that the person is being shady for some reason,
That's
then
not a good
that
relationship.
doubt
Yeah.
should be addressed
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
before your Facebook status.
I agree.
See, and it wasn't ever a big enough deal for me with the last guy. It wasn't ever a big enough deal for me to actually mention anything. It's just something that I would notice and just be all like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, what's the
Part
next
two.
one?
All right, number 2. You won't include me in things like the wedding weekend. I should have been the
Oh my
one
God.
to escort you.
Oh my God, that would be like the best. Like if you didn't include me in the wedding weekend, I didn't have to go to the stupid fucking wedding.
Stupid
Oh, that would make me more in love with this person. Are you kidding? Who
I can
wants to go to
understand
those
if it's
things?
but if it's a longer term relationship, then I can understand sort of the you're not including me on things
Well, and
that
also
are
it
part
was
of your
only
life.
like 2 months, right? So it's like, I
Exactly.
don't know, maybe I don't want to include you so much so fast.
I don't know if you're gonna freak out.
Yeah, like I took my boyfriend at the time to my older sister's wedding, but we had already been dating for a year and a half at that point.
Yeah.
It's like after like 2 months, it's like, I don't want to introduce you to the whole family, friends, and my grandma, you know,
Yeah.
if you may not stick around for that long. Yeah, so
Yeah, like
I think it was actually like 7 weeks. Was
yeah, 7
yeah,
months,
so
2
like
months.
not even 2 months.
On my scorecard, I have those first 2 reasons are bullshit. Does anyone want to say?
If you've been together for longer than, I don't know what the cutoff date is, but I'd say, 4 or 5 months. At that point, you should probably start.
So,
If it's a family event, you should introduce the person as your significant other of
So I
that
mean,
time period.
let's do it the opposite way. So you go out with someone, and you have a good time, and you go home, and their Facebook page says, "I'm in a relationship with you now." Wouldn't that be a little creepy?
Yeah.
Like the day. I mean, there has to be a delay before that announcement
Well,
happens.
and it's going to depend on the conversation you have with the person and how deep you are into the relationship and everything. I mean, it could
First
happen
date.
after like a week, and they're like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're totally into this, cool." Or it could be a month or 2 months down the road that you
Okay.
set that status. Just depends on the 2 individuals.
Let's move on to number 3. Oh, sorry. You gonna say that?
well,
Well, Petey said that she took you to a wedding like after like the first month or something.
fuck her.
Wow, it's so good that you developed like the points early on, but you just spent them all.
Yeah. Okay, so I know we like got together in the middle of January, and I know we got serious like the middle of February, and then we moved in together like the beginning of March. So
Oh.
we were together for like 6 weeks before we moved in together.
Sometimes
so.
just no.
No. I don't know.
Sometimes it just blows up in your face.
So I started going out with my wife, my current wife, my only wife, in April, and we moved in together like in August, and we had been and that was 22 years ago. So that worked out.
I'd say y'all are doing okay.
Yeah. That's like May, June, July, 4 months. And so I think like we started dating in April. We made the decision to move in together in May. We just didn't do it till school started up again in August. But anyway.
Well, my ex Chris and I had started dating in beginning of December of 2012 and beginning of mid-January 2013 we were living together. Worst idea ever.
Yeah, I don't think I've only taken one woman home to meet the family or whatever, and that was only after I dated her for like a year. But it just so happened that was the most convenient time to do that.
I was mostly about smuggling girls in and out of my parents' house. But I was
fuck yeah.
quick question, and before we move on to number 3. Has anyone had a cousin come onto them or actually had relations with their cousin? Anyone?
No.
No.
Ferris,
Artie
why are you
has to think
asking
about
this
it.
Question?
we
Rab.
No,
no,
right there
but
with
it's
you.
not like a bad thing. Like it's not a bad thing.
Consensual.
No. It was we were all like 8, 9 and shit.
It
So
was
and
only
like
a little flipper baby. It was only,
No, she like exposed herself, you know, but she wasn't coming on to anyone. It was just like, oh look, like I have like hair that it was like a thing. It wasn't like a sexual thing.
Yeah,
It was.
Okay, well, I had something similar, but it was definitely sexual.
It was just we were young and it was
I
like
know.
puberty, yay! You know, it was like
That's kind of what happened to me. It was like a teenager, and we were all like, and the other thing is that like this is a cousin that I didn't really know because she lived very far away, so it was not like.
Not like close.
I mean, it was like bad genetically, but like emotionally, it was like meeting just some girl. Sorry, what's number 3?
You'll like this one.
Wait,
Number
wait.
3.
Artie's got some.
If it's past second cousin, I don't give a fuck.
Here's the other thing. If there's a condom involved, I can go first.
well, see, and the thing, like personally, I'm not really all that against incest and whatnot. I'm kind of okay with it for the most part. Like,
Fuck yeah.
it's like I don't personally really want to date any of my cousins, but I'm okay with like 2 people that are related, like being married or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't bother me.
I've lost Jeff Crime. He was all like, yeah, kissing dudes. And now he's all like, no cousins. Dude. No. That's not okay. I mean, like, seriously, it's like a girl I'd never met before. I mean, yes, she was a cousin, but like,
Oh, so it was kind of like...
But you don't know what hurt you.
that was from Game of Thrones, that Iron Island guy. God damn it.
I don't know.
Whatever.
All right, number 3.
And he like fingered his sister or whatever and the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah.
The dude who had all the shit cut off.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was his fucking name?
Oh my god, how am I not remembering this right
I know.
now?
I just used the Iron
Theon
Island.
Greyjoy.
Theon Greyjoy.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
We're not worthy. All right, Khaleesi,
So
number 3.
Number 3, you are rude to my cat and that makes me feel uncomfortable.
You are what?
Rude to my cat.
I'm good with this one.
Rude. Oh, okay.
I'm good with this one because like I'm like super mad at Jay for like always like fucking with Starbucks, and that's not even my cat. Like I'm like upset when he's like messing with her, and I'm just like, dude, leave the cat alone. So yeah, if anyone fucked with my cat, that would be.
I'm generally meaner to my cats, so it's not too bad.
Black.
But she
Recipe.
still loves me.
Kind of.
Because she doesn't have a choice.
That's why she was hiding in
Stockholm
the. That's why
syndrome.
she was hiding in the bathroom, scared the shit out of me after the show.
No, it's that way because we thought like, what if he's in there like he fell down with his foot and like he's calling for help and we're just like,
We're just laughing at
whatever.
No, it was the cat scared the shit out of me.
The last couple guys that I've dated have actually been allergic to cats. So it's kind of like they sort of don't like
That's
them by
unfortunate for you.
default.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's a lot of cats in my house. 2 of them are mine, so it's kind of like, man. So number 4, you do not share your time equally, and by now your boyfriend should be taking priority. That's just fucking selfish.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
You do not share your time equally, and by now your boyfriend should be taking priority. That's just fucking selfish.
That reminds me of Wuthering Heights. Has anyone read that book?
No.
I cannot. That is like one of my favorite books of all time. I love the fuck out of that book. It's like a
Fuck yeah.
It's like a hardcore. It's like a romance novel, but it's also like really, really not. But one of the things that Heathcliff does is he starts keeping a record of how many days Kathy spends with him versus how many days she spends with her cousins. I'm not saying there was anything going on. But her and the rich kids from down the street, and that's just crazy, man. If you're keeping a list, and although I gotta say, like, if she's not spending enough time with you, if you're keeping track, you've got a problem. If you're not getting your needs met, then yeah, break up with her. Who cares?
Reminds me of this article I was reading recently where this husband was keeping track of all the time, like every reason his wife gave to not have sex with him or something like that, and then like he like graphed it and stuff. It's like,
yeah, he kept it in a
man.
spreadsheet for a year.
yeah, it's like,
That's creepy, dude. Yeah, you need to stop doing that because you have a problem.
maybe there's another reason why she doesn't want to have sex with you.
See, and
Chat room is all on my side on Wuthering Heights, by the way. Everyone should go. I've got like 3 copies, I think, because like literally I've read this book like 5 times. I freaking love this book. If you want a copy, come get it. But seriously, just read it.
One thing that really, really bothers me about number 4 is that I do a lot of stuff. Like, I have a lot of stuff going on. I have a lot of stuff going on, and if somebody can't accept the fact that I have a life
Do stuff?
other than if somebody can't accept the fact that I have a life other than them, then that's their problem, not mine.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And actually, that was, honey, forgive me. This was like a big problem for me early on with my relationship with my wife. Is that I had things I wanted to do, and she didn't want to do them with me, and so. One of those things where we had to come to an agreement on what, we had to have our time, but then I also had to have time to do the things that I wanted to do. And that's still the case to today. Like, she is an atheist, but she doesn't give a shit about atheist stuff. Yeah. So she's not at all interested in that stuff. So I go do that stuff, and I just have to strike a balance. And sometimes I do really well, and sometimes I do really badly. Like, there are times when I'm doing so much stuff where it's like I see my family one night a week, and I'm like, okay, that's not okay. But as long as you are aware of that and you can adjust those things.
Yeah, my friends think I'm weird because it's like, they're like, oh, because I feel like if I'm in a relationship, it's like I should have like one day at least just to myself. I ain't gotta talk or do shit with nobody.
Yep.
Just play a game if I want to.
Yep.
Veg out on a show if I want to. And apparently that makes me an asshole.
Yeah. That was another big thing with my relationship is I'm like a huge introvert, and my wife is a huge extrovert, and so like I need alone time. I need quiet time. I need to read. I need to just be alone in my thoughts, and she needs to talk. Like all the time, talking. And it was the first year we were living together, it got to the point where we actually had this arrangement where she would talk and I would pretend to listen. Like, that was the actual arrangement. If you just say, once in a while, I'm totally cool and just let me talk. And so I'd be lost in my thoughts, and just once in a while I'd throw her in and it totally worked for us. So
yeah, at least there's that understanding. That's one thing that bugged me about my ex, was that he was much like, our relationship was much like you and your wife, was that I was an extreme extrovert, he's an extreme introvert. Whenever he'd want his alone time, I would just say, hey, you just have to let me know, like, and you just sort of have to tell me, that way I can make other plans. I don't have my whole life doesn't revolve around you, so I don't have to constantly do stuff with you. You just have to let me know, so I'm not sitting here going, well, I wanted to hang out with you.
Right.
And he never did. He never really let me know.
I advocate setting up a schedule, and apparently that makes me an asshole too. So it's like, I'll give you Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then we'll have flex days on the Tuesday, Thursday, see what's going on.
You find the person that works for. If that doesn't work for the person, then you just move on. Yeah. So that's cool. What? No, I don't even know what number we're on now.
We're on number 5, and I take personal offense at this one. Your swearing is very unladylike.
Oh, fuck that.
Go fuck yourself, you fucking son of a bitch. Like, really, if somebody has a problem with the fact that I swear, then that's their problem. That's not my problem.
Because it depends on the situation. It's like if you're in front of my grandma, baby, then
I might not swear, but I might drop a curse word or two just to gauge how granny is. Because if it's anything like my grandmother, she'll be cursing up a storm with me.
Not my grandmother's. Holy crap.
It's like if I'm at a work function, maybe dial it back.
Yeah. For sure. There's a time and a place.
There are appropriate times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like shirts, there are appropriate times and places for swearing as well.
I don't know.
What's 6?
Number 6 is, you won't disclose how many sexual partners you have had, which makes me think it is upwards of 3, and anything more than that is unacceptable.
3 doesn't even average, is it?
3, no. 3 is unacceptable. This guy is going to think that I'm the biggest whore in the world.
I already think that of you.
It's like, it seems like you would prefer the woman to have more partners. That way she'd be better and more experienced. I don't know, like logically. I would think that would be better.
God, I just like I went to an all-boys high school, and this is one of the reasons that I hated that, was I had to hear all the things that they wouldn't say in front of girls because there were no girls there. And this is, again, like, So maybe there's a gene. I don't know. But I remember being in the lunchroom, and one of my friends was talking about how he would never have sex with a girl who was not a virgin because then she was used or something like that.
So the dirty dish rag.
There's always the comparisons of dirty stuff when talking about women and purity and stuff like that.
It's like all you gotta
dirty
do is
dish
take a
rags.
shower, and it's all off.
And then you're okay.
You're good to go again.
The vagina will bounce back. Don't worry.
It has a conveyor belt that like cleans that shit out. Like, plus, here's the other thing: is that we know from talking to Daryl Ray that the human penis is shaped in such a way to suction all that
Plunge
stuff out.
Yeah.
So like really you're cleaning her out if you just, really go to town on that. And like you're cleaning all that gunk out. It's like Roto-Rooter. So I mean just get in there one time, it's like wear a rubber and get all the gunk out and then it's all good to go again.
Fuck that rubber shit, man.
Well, this is the first time, so you can get, you don't have like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
Sloppy
semen
seconds.
stays up there for days, and from past relationships, it's
It's
still
still
in
there
there
for like years, unless you pump it out with your huge manliness.
Yeah.
It's all about you, man.
With your huge corona.
The average number of lovers for a woman is 8. This dude is in for much disappointment. The average number for men is 12. Of course, that means it's more like 3 and 4. But because people lie.
Yeah, women like to downplay how many people they've had sex with, and men
And then
like to
jack it up.
exaggerate.
I don't know. I just never understood I don't like sluts or whatever. It's like, but those are the ones that are gonna have sex with you. You should.
You
should
not
want
judge
to
them.
get with them because they will actually want to do things with you. I don't know. To the logical conclusion, it's never made any sense to me.
Oh, yeah. Petey said 3, so yeah. Yep.
I had too many to count for me. I was like all the time. I was like going.
Man whore.
I'm below average for a man, though.
I would
If,
have to go
if
back
the
and
average
count
man
again.
is 12, I'm nowhere near 12.
It depends on what you consider a sex partner for me.
Someone you've had sex with.
Well,
Any kind of sex with.
like even fingers.
Yes.
What if you're just in the same room with them
No.
while they're
No, if there's no physical contact, it
So-
doesn't count.
There has to be a nipple showing.
What if there's band-aids involved? Because that's happened to me before.
Band-Aids?
There's like band-aids.
Oh.
Pasties.
Okay.
So what if
This was pasties. It was
So what
actually
if-
it was like tape over band-aids.
So what if it's like you and like 3 chicks, right? And you only actually have sex with one of them, but the
Oh,
other
that-
2 are all part of the
claim
same.
them all. Claim
oh,
it
you
all.
claim them all.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, you
okay.
claim it all.
You
I
claim
mean,
it
that's just like a dude thing. You just have to.
Oh, you gotta claim
know,
them all. Okay.
And everyone within a half-mile radius. That's just how that works.
They all count, man.
And then what if it's like you, like a lady, and like 2 other guys, right? Do the guys count as sexual partners too? If like you're all like doing the same woman or whatever? Or?
Fix the. I don't know what you're saying, because all I hear is hum.
There we go. No, but so like you got like so it's like you, like a lady, and like 2 other dudes. So those dudes count as like sex partners as well.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You're so gay.
So
everyone's
gay.
everyone's
So
a little
gay.
gay. Everyone's a little gay. All right. This is a long post show. I'm gonna end it with this clip from the Totally Rad show from back in the day. This is like 7 years old, which makes me so sad because I'm so old. But it's kind
Yes,
of
you are.
it's kind of remotely related, and it's just hilarious. So do this.
Like if everyone lived in an MMO all the time, but what you experience in the MMO you really felt, and then you could sort of decide how you wanted to look.
One of the
It's
fascinating,
like all those things that would.
one of the many fascinating things. We don't want to tell too much, but I thought interesting that crime goes away, but in a weird way, because if the stakes.
So let me provide some context here. What was that movie with Bruce Willis? It was a comic book, and then it was made into a movie. Bruce Willis.
Oh, Unbreakable.
Sin
uh,
City?
Red.
No. Where everyone's like they have like it's like virtual reality and like their bodies aren't the really bodies. They go out and they have like robot bodies that they control, but they're safe away. So like if they get beaten up, it's no big deal. It's like property. It's a property crime. It's not a
Bruce Willis was in it?
It's not
Yeah,
assault.
I know what movie you're talking about. It's it's like Proxy or something.
I can't believe it's not in here.
If I don't know it, it's not good.
I'm ruining it by not.
Surrogates. There we go.
Surrogates. Okay, so it's a comic book turned movie where you go out and you're it's kind of like you're controlling.
Yeah, pretty much
robots.
everyone just stays at home with their bodies connected to their little remote control machines.
Exactly. So that's what they're talking about.
If the stakes
Oh, yeah,
aren't
there's
so
no
high,
stakes,
you
right.
don't die. You just get a new model.
Yeah.
Then that's not a serious crime anymore. You're not actually killing
It's
someone.
property damage, not murder.
Wow. And if you're about to be raped, you just jack off.
Okay, so totally unintentional. He didn't mean to say that. Because it's just like
Yeah, you would just disconnect the jack.
disconnect. you wouldn't jack off. Okay, goodbye everybody.
I don't know how that was related to anything.
You don't? We'll talk about it afterwards. Bye everybody.